a bubble formed in my contact lens, and so then I went ahead and went to the emergency room. The hospital that you funded, Chevron, only spent less than 5 minutes to assess what was wrong from someone who had just experienced a chemical disaster.
Well, let's talk about those effluents. They used to be able to put into the bay every single day contaminated water that the test for the quality of the water is using trout fingerlings. So now those trout fingerlings can live for 72 hours before they die. And that's what's going on today.
Thanks to the Supreme Court decision, San Mateo County versus Southern Pacific Railroad, corporations, as we know, are persons. This Mother Earth of yours, on the other hand, is not.
And so we're starting to see that out of the devastation of the world wars and out of the devastation of our conflicts with a higher power that was injuring our rights here in the United States, so too is the devastation that we're wreaking on this planet giving rise to an articulation of the fundamental rights of nature, just as we articulated and recognized the fundamental rights of people.
Well, I'm here to tell you that the law isn't about justice. Human law isn't set up for justice. But what if it were? What if it were? That's what we're here to talk about today, a courtroom in which ecosystems have recognized rights.
I think that one of the things that we really need to talk about is that we talk about human beings outside of nature. And we are actually not outside of nature. We are a part of nature, and nature is a part of us.
The type of economic theory that we need to become mainstream is ecological economics. It recognizes the existence of hard limits on the size of the economy itself, based on the sustainable harvesting of renewable resources. It also imposes limits on the overall amount of global pollution based on the absorptive capacity of global ecosystems.
So I'm here to testify to the fact that a post-carbon, high well-being, ecologically regenerative economy is not a dream, it's an unfolding reality. There is another way to manage our home.
Ultimately, I think restorative justice in its most radical expression can help midwife a new evolutionary shift of the species into an era in which humans will no longer be entranced with ways of being and thinking that create domination, discord, and devastation, but will be present upon the earth in mutually enhancing ways.
I, Courtney Cummings, Tribunal Judge, after hearing testimonies by our experts, do find that the refineries are in violation of Mother Earth and her rights.
I find the company in violation of the principles of environmental justice and the rights of nature. And I recommend that the Bay Area Alliance call on the state legislature of California to begin hearings on the rights of nature legislation in California.
It's easy to find Chevron guilty of not listening to the land, but we have to add in there the government of California. Did it listen? Did the United States government, do any of the multinational corporations listen? Perhaps they do, but in many cases they don't, and in that they are in violation of the rights of nature.
And I also find that the request that Chevron particularly and that the fossil fuel industry contribute to regeneration, use its funds in some manner to fund regeneration and cleanup of the damage that it's done, I find in favor of that.
We have heard today about the assaults on rights of communities living in Richmond, but we cannot forget, as Jeff Conant pointed out, that the crude oil is coming from Nigeria, from Russia, from Canada, where indigenous peoples, where local communities are facing death, arrest, intimidation of the worst kind. Any kind of restorative justice will not be complete if it is not multinational or international in its scope, as Chevron is.